What's up, y'all? How's everyone doing? So we're going to do a little segment because the sports ranchers are on a break, and we've been on a break for a little while. There's just not a lot to talk about, but there is some things to talk about. So we are driving right now, so we're going to call this Road Raging with Jake because I got some things I want to rage about. God, where do we start? First off, the last sports rancher show that we had, we brought up, is it worth it to pay these big name receivers, all this big name money? And I was going to go in, I had a few stats and this and that, and really, the only receivers that have actually maintained or increased on their production after they signed these big contracts in the last like 10 years was Tyreek Hill moving from the Chiefs to the Dolphins, and then Davante Adams has actually been fantastic when he goes and signs with the new team and or a big contract. His production hasn't dropped, but you got injury factors, of course, you have that, but so many variables go into that position. Who's your quarterback? Does that quarterback have an offensive line? Does that offense have a coordinator that's not an idiot? I just don't see it. There are other pieces of a team. If I was building an NFL team, there's just other pieces that I would build and invest money into besides these wide receivers. It's just for me it's just kind of common sense. You've seen a lot of receivers. I mean, for the love of God, Parker Washington for Jacksonville last year, came out of nowhere, had a great year. The NFL today is just, it's so much more scheme and just these offenses cater to some of these players, skill set where they don't have to be a Calvin Johnson where they're just a super freak. But then I kind of got to thinking, with some of these players this offseason, why do players in the NFL, they sign these big contracts, they hit free agency, they finally get through their rookie deal, and they sign these big contracts, and then it's like they decide after a year into a 4-year deal, I don't like where this team's going, I don't want to play for this team anymore. It's just insanity to me how these players can like get away with that, I guess. The guaranteed money, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not an expert on NFL contracts, but for the love of God, some of these players, how they sign these big deals, and then 1 or 2 years in, they're like, nope, I'm holding out, I'm out, I want to trade. And it's just like, dude, when you get signed to make $30 million, $40 million a year, you're the top guy at your position as far as earnings go. It's more than just catching a football, dude. It's like, or blocking or running a football. It's like, you're supposed to be the foundation of that franchise. You are supposed to be the rock that fans can say, at least we got this guy. At least he's committed. But my God, the peacocks of the NFL nowadays. It's gross. It really is. I don't know why. Receivers especially. Shit. All incentive based, all incentive based, because there's always another athlete that'll step right up. There's always a Parker Washington, or there's always a Jacoby Myers, who the hell ever, to step up and catch a football. So that's that was first thing on my mind. Second thing is this whole Aaron Rodgers situation. I don't know why the media does this. Every offseason. The Steelers knew he was coming back. Okay, like, Rodgers isn't holding the franchise hostage. Give me a break. He's already there. He's already practicing. He's signed. He's practicing with his receivers, like, early before, OTAs or mini camp or whatever. It's like, quit spinning it like, what are the Steelers going to do? Is Aaron Rodgers going to play? Oh, I don't think he's going to play. The dude, they made the playoffs last year. Like the AFC North is wide open. You just put all this money into Michael Pittman. Like, of course they know he's going to play. Of course they've had contact with him. He's been doing this for years and years and years. Like, I don't know, these quarterbacks, it's like, they get old. They don't need to go through all the fucking hoopla, and then there he is. He's technically early as far as showing up for these these mini camps and these practices. So, I laugh. It's like the Steelers don't have anyone better. You were a playoff team last year with Rodgers. Rodgers didn't play that bad. And I'm sorry, but the NFL's gotten to a point now where it's like, yeah, a Phillip Rivers in his mid-40s or an Aaron Rodgers, is better than a lot of these guys, coming out. Like, it's just better or seasoned enough to be able to adapt to a new offensive scheme, in the time that coaches need. Because coaches, it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago where coaches can sit a rookie and they can, learn everything. It's not like that anymore. So, get off the Aaron Rodgers thing. Like, the dude would have told the fucking Steelers if he wasn't going to play. They had that decision before the draft. Like, give me a break. You don't think that they had that? They were a playoff team last year. He's making $40 million. He does this every year. Get off of it already. Shit. So, anyways, as far as the draft went, Raiders obviously took Mendoza. I drafted him in my, I had the number 1, number 2 overall, and Mendoza was one of those picks. I love what the Raiders are doing. I think that the Raiders are they're doing it the right way. They brought Cousins in to mentor, Mendoza. You got Bowers, you got a running game. You beefed up your O-line. You didn't go spend $40 million on a receiver that, it probably isn't going to get the ball that much. I love what the Raiders are doing. Jeremiah Love, what a shocker. Arizona. I mean, statistically, running backs taken in the top 5 average close to 300 touches their rookie season. So, like, if you're looking from a fantasy standpoint, I think Love will be fine. But, this is the difference between, like, good and bad run franchises. Why do you go spend the money on Algier? You have Connor that, and I understand the guy's, gone through a lot of injuries and stuff, but, you had hype with Trey Benson. You got this running back room that's just stacked. You don't have a quarterback, and I do like what they're doing with Brissett. Like, Brissett produced. They knew that they weren't going to get a quarterback, like a franchise quarterback out of this draft, or via free agency. So it's like, take the backup rookie and have him go produce while you build a team around potentially, whatever you're going to, whatever quarterback they get next year in next year's much richer quarterback class. So I do like it in that sense, but, I don't know what you do. Like, of course, Love's a great talent. Take him at 3, but why did you just sign Algier? Like, you had that spot in the draft. It's not like you just traded up. You've had that spot. So, stupid franchises. Which brings me to my next. It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand. Breece Hall signing this deal with the Jets. Is he going to be one of those guys that a year or two, I want to trade. I don't like where, it's going. I'm going to hold out, now that I got my money. Maybe, maybe. But I don't know. You knew that, like, if you had entered free agency, you knew that you were going to be this highly sought after talent. Like, why re-sign a 4-year deal for money that anybody's going to pay you that? You were going to get paid, that the money regardless. But why? I don't get it, man. Like, you got no, unless they really believe in Aaron Glenn, because Garrett Wilson, same thing. Like, unless you really believe in Eric Glenn and where they're taking the, the direction of the franchise, like, why do you sign there? I don't know. But, Tony Gwynn did it. He stuck with San Diego all those years, and God bless him, and, Tomlinson until we ran him out. But, that one confuses me. Same thing with, Devon Achane. Like, you know that your stats are going to, Malik Willis is going to vulture touchdowns around the goal line, and Miami doesn't have a real, it doesn't look like they have a direction, but same thing, he took the money to stay in this. Maybe it's just the not having the pressure of these high expectations, during these rebuilds where it takes 2-3 years to rebuild the team, and there's no pressure on them. They got paid, and then, they go sign a 1 or 2 year deal somewhere else. It's pretty wild to me. Something else I wanted to talk about. Something else. Moving just slightly to baseball, the Padres have to figure out how to sign players that can hit a slider low and away, or lay off a slider low and away, because for the love of God, we were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position against the Dodgers. It's always the same stat. It's always the worst average in the league, runners in scoring position. Oh, brutal. But no, that's just that's my rant. That's my road rage rant. I'm home now, so I gotta calm down before I go in and disrupt the dog. But looking forward to getting back with the guys, and it's just a slow part of the year right now. Everybody's busy, but we haven't forgotten about our tens of thousands of viewers, and I will get out on the road and rage to you guys. When I hear things that need to be raged about. I'm also interested to know what the guys think about the Steelers moving on from Tomlin to go to McCarthy. It's like you go from white to flat white. Wait, that could be taken as racist. Vanilla and kind of vanilla. Like, I don't know. What is McCarthy going to do different? I don't know. Crazy. Just crazy. But yeah, anyways, that's it. Shit, I don't have anything else. I miss talking. I miss ranting. But hopefully we're back soon, and much love. Peace out. And don't think that I came empty-handed, because riding dirty always. Peace out, guys.